Hi readers of Room 41. We are ready to start our last learning in reading this year. If you remember way back to the beginning of the school year when we were talking about our 40 book challenge, we went through all the different genres. And I was able to get through all the different genres with you and teach you something about them and what made each genre unique. So our last genre that we're going to be working on is traditional literature, which we haven't gotten a chance to do too much of this year. So today in reading, we're going to learn how to use our knowledge and text clues to analyze a text and identify the parts that make this a unique genre. Two things to be thinking about while we're learning today. How is this type of text similar to other types of texts you've read, and how is it different? And what essential character traits does the author include in the plot? That's one of the key questions when it comes to traditional literature, is what are the character traits that the author includes? Because we learned that when we were writing our own stories. It's important that your character have traits, good traits and bad traits, so that you can identify how that character will get into trouble or be able to resolve a problem. So be thinking about that as we start studying some traditional literature this week. All right, traditional literature. This is what we talked about when we filled out our 40 book challenge packet way back at the beginning of the year. This is one of the posters I have for it here in the classroom. Traditional literature includes fairy tales, folk tales, myths, fables, legends. We wrote down that often it is based on oral tradition with no known author. In other words, it was storytelling. It was sitting around a fire at night, or in the castle, or out in the woods, in a forest, and telling stories. There's usually no known author. We don't know who wrote these stories because they've been retold and told and retold and told. There's always good versus evil or right versus wrong in traditional literature. Traditional literature usually contains magic or fantasy. Any time and any place would be something like long ago in a land far, far away. See, we don't know where that is. So it can be any time and any place if you just use those vague words like long ago. Is long ago 10 years ago or 1,000 years ago? And when we say in a land far, far away, we don't know. Is that Europe? Is it Asia? Is it Russia? Where is it? We don't know. So it can be any place. That's why the reader's mind can go wherever it pictures. There's always a theme. There's always a lesson to be learned in traditional literature, or what we call universal truths. Something that's true universally for everybody. That everybody agrees that that is a truth. They're really simple plots. There's nothing complicated about them. They're very simple plots, and there's usually that happily ever after. So that's what traditional literature is. So we're going to get started today on Trickster Tales. Does anybody know what a trickster is? And how would you know if someone is a trickster? Can you think of any stories you've read that have a trickster in them? Think back to that revolting recipes story we did, where the bully was always tricking him into getting his sandwich every day. And then he found a way to trick the bully by making the gross, revolting recipes. So that's a trickster tale, okay, because there's a trickster in it. He's tricking the bully into giving up bullying him. So think of any trickster tales that you've read. What features did they all have in common? How many trickster tales have you read? I'm not sure you've read as many as you think you might have. Trickster tales are fun ones to read because someone is always getting tricked, or they're getting tricked back because they are the trickster. So who are usually the main characters of a trickster tale? Is the main character usually perfect? Can you explain that? How is the plot of a trickster tale similar to the plot of other fictional stories? Just regular fiction. How is the plot of a trickster tale similar to that? How does the trickster solve their problem? And what is the length of a trickster tale? What's the mood? How long are trickster tales? Are they long, thought-out, detailed stories? Are they quick, short stories? And what's the mood usually in a trickster tale? Happy-go-lucky, serious, dark, scary, silly, What's the mood that you sense when you read a trickster tale? So, here's some features of trickster tales. All right, so I can answer some of the questions on that last slide now. The main characters are usually animals. Okay, we can always think of the tortoise and the hare. Okay, we can think of Red Riding Hood with the wolf. We can think of the three little pigs and the big bad wolf. We can think of animals and they're tricksters. Now, the second one there to the right of that one says the trickster may have a flaw. There's a weakness somewhere that other people can use to get back at them. So we're always looking for that weakness. They may have a flaw. The third one, the trickster has a problem or helps someone with a problem. At least they believe, they convince the person they're going to help them with their problem, but they actually get them in trouble. Think of the three billy goats gruff. When we read that story, we think how the billy goats, each one tricked the troll under the bridge into believing that there was a better meal coming behind him. So there are tricksters that usually help somebody with their problem, or they have a problem. The trickster outwits another character to solve the problem. So the tricksters are trying to get across the bridge, or they're trying to keep their houses from being blown down by the big bad wolf. So they're always trying to trick the other character to solve their problem. And the story is usually short and usually funny. We usually enjoy reading these quick trickster tales because we find it funny to see what kind of trouble everybody gets into in a trickster tale. So let's take a look at one really quickly. I'm going to read one for you called The Monkey and the Crocodile. So, we're going to read this trickster tale, and as I read, I want you to pay attention to how this writer uses the features of the genre to tell the tale. What essential character traits does the author include? Remember, that was our question we need to think about at the beginning of the lesson. The Monkey and the Crocodile. The crocodile's wife spied a monkey in a tree and thought he would make a tasty meal. "Bring me that monkey," she told her husband. "I haven't had a bite to eat for days, and monkeys' hearts are delicious." "Monkeys live in trees," her husband said. "I can't climb a tree to get him." "Use your intelligence," his wife said. The crocodile left the swamp and devised a plan on his way to the monkey's tree. "Hey, monkey," the crocodile called, "aren't you tired of eating bananas? Ride on my back across the river, and you can eat mangoes and figs on the other side." Forgetting danger and thinking only of sweet mangoes and figs, the monkey leaped heedlessly onto the crocodile's back. With the monkey on his back, the crocodile dove underwater in the middle of the river. "What's going on?" the monkey asked. "When you drown, I'm going to bring you to my wife so she can dine on your heart," the croc said. "I wish you'd told me earlier," the monkey said. "I left my heart in the tree. Take me back and I'll get it for you." Returned safe to his tree, the monkey laughed at the crocodile. So there is a trickster tale. Two guys trying to trick each other. The crocodile is trying to trick the monkey into getting on his back and going across the river so that the crocodile can kill the monkey and his wife can eat the heart of the monkey. Once the monkey realized he was being tricked, he said, "You know what? I left my heart back in the tree. Why don't you just take me back there and I'll get it?" And of course the crocodile believed him, and so took him back to his tree, and the monkey was able to climb back up the tree where he was safe because the crocodile couldn't climb the tree. So, you see how both characters are a little, I guess the word we could use is gullible. Have you ever heard that word, gullible? I think both tricksters are a little gullible. They believe the other guy. And that's usually the flaw that the trickster has, is they tend to believe somebody and they fall for it. So we call that being gullible. So, that's an easy, quick trickster tale, and that's typically the length of a trickster tale. So what you're going to do is you're going to answer questions about the trickster tale. So, there will be questions similar to this. One important feature of a trickster tale is that the trickster has a problem or helps someone with a problem. Who has problems in this tale? How do these characters use their wits to solve their problems? Refer to specific details in the text to support your explanation. Now, you're going to be reading a trickster tale on your own today, and you're going to be answering questions like this. So think about this. How would you answer this question? Let me read it again. One important feature of a trickster tale is that the trickster has a problem or helps someone with a problem. Who has problems in the tale that we just read? And how do these characters use their wits to solve their problems? You have to refer to specific details in the text to support your explanation. So, since we're not in the classroom together to write this together, I went ahead and wrote mine. Here's what I thought. The crocodile has the first problem. His wife wants a monkey heart to eat, but monkeys live in trees. However, when the wife said, "Use your intelligence," the crocodile devised a plan and offered the monkey the opportunity to ride on my back across the river and eat mangoes and figs on the other side. Now, the monkey also has a problem. When you drown, I'm going to bring you to my wife so she can dine on your heart. That's a problem. The monkey then uses his intelligence to outwit the crocodile by saying, "I left my heart in the tree. Take me back and I'll get it for you." So that's how you explain your answer. Who has the problem and how do they solve their problem? I explained how the crocodile solved his problem. I explained how the monkey solved his problem. The second question that you might be asked to answer would be something like this. This tale has a unique structure. The situation at the end is the same as the situation at the beginning. What feature of the trickster tale genre causes this to happen? Now that's a tough question. This tale has a unique structure. The situation at the end is the same as the situation at the beginning. What feature of the trickster tale genre causes this to happen? There, the feature of the trickster tale, like in the chart I showed you, is both tricksters have flaws. The monkey forgot danger, thought only of the sweet mangoes and figs, and leaped heedlessly onto the crocodile's back. The crocodile wasn't really that intelligent after all. He fell for the monkey's lie that his heart was still back in the tree. So because of their flaws, the crocodile's wife is still hungry, and the monkey is still safe in the tree. So you got to think about your answers to these and think about how you can use evidence from the text to do that. So you're going to be reading this one called Anansi and the Turtle. You're going to read this story yourself, and as you read, you're going to be looking for details that describe the characters and their reasons for doing the things they do. You can jot your thinking down on scratch paper, but you're going to head over to Nearpod now and use the code to get to this lesson. And this story will be there for you to read. So you don't have to read it right now on here. I have a better copy of it for you on Nearpod. You'll read that, and then there'll be questions to answer about this trickster tale after you've read the story. So, if you need to refer back to our chart about features of trickster tales, you're welcome to do that on this right here to remind you and to help you answer the questions. So these are the features of a trickster tale, and that might help you as you answer your questions. All right, boys and girls, you can head to Nearpod and work on Anansi and the Turtle.